visions in my head. People tell me that I'm great.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
We've been talking like 100 miles per hour for the past 5 minutes.
Really fast. It's
me too. The other day I said in this podcast, I'm like, there's no way that you could listen to this at like a 1.5 speed or whatever. And everyone in my secret Facebook groups, like, we do that. And I'm like, there's literally no way. So this episode, you absolutely can't. Good luck, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, no, like, my assistant, she watches everything on 2 times speed. Like, she watches YouTube videos and everything on 2 times speed. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, maybe I should try it. And I tried it, and I was just like, oh my, I'm way too fucking stupid to listen to anything.
It stresses
on 2
me
times
out.
speed. Yeah.
There's certain people that I can, but if I'm like watching YouTube videos too, I kind of want to relax. So
Yeah, like,
it's fine.
why am I rushing? Like, this is entertainment. Like, I should be, like, enjoying this. Why are we rushing through it?
Exactly.
I was like, do you watch my videos on 2 times speed? She was like, no, I swear. I was like, you clearly fucking
Yeah,
know.
I'm like, wait, that means it's less important to you because you're trying to speed it up or whatever. I won't like that deep into it, but I was thinking about it and I'm like, wait, that's why. So,
yeah, but like,
right.
we just sound like we're on 2 times speed all the time.
Yeah, so you guys are welcome. This is going to be a longer episode then.
Yeah.
You can't speed it up. But best of luck. Anyways, Lauren, do you want to do a 1-minute bio? I already apologize. I apologize to every guest of mine that I have to do this, but people just like need to know, just in case they don't already know who you are.
So are you telling me 1 minute because you
doesn't
want me
have to
to
be
shut
1
the fuck
minute?
up after 60 seconds? Wait, did you say I'm allowed to swear?
Yes.
Okay, I'm really like I was like on my way here and I was like, oh my god, like I was like, what am I gonna like? Why am I in such a cursing mood? I don't know. I just don't get out much. Okay, 60 seconds.
It doesn't have to be 60 seconds.
Okay.
Just like give a little background.
I'm Lauren Elizabeth, and I'm from Chicago. I live in LA. I've been here for 6 years, and I started on YouTube in 2011, and I've been making videos since. Well, actually, I started a blog, started YouTube, and I got into hosting and acting and designing, just, you know, the typical, like, influencer turned businesses on the internet type thing. I don't know, I just like, I kind of like do everything. Every couple of years I change what I'm doing in a sense of I just like add something else, but I still make videos. I'm on Instagram, I have my clothing line, I still act, I do basically everything that everyone that lives here does. Like,
Amazing.
It's nothing special, you know?
No, I think you're the best at it. Also, I love what you said about how you change things every few years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've been listening, I mean, I listened to a bunch of podcasts, obviously, but there was one with, like, Erwin McManus, and there was another one, I don't even remember, but they were just talking about, like, how... Like, I don't know, I feel like in my head growing up, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I was born exactly like how I am now. Like, I was like, I want to do this and this and this. Like, obviously I've grown.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
I wanted to do this, but it didn't exist yet. Isn't that weird?
Right,
I, like, knew it would be something like this, but it didn't exist then.
Yeah.
So it, like, didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
I would have said, like, have a clothing line or something, though. Like, that's probably what I would have, like, put.
I was like, I want to write for Teen Vogue.
Yeah, like, it would have been something like that, but then it just, like, all changed, which is cool, because it's, like, you never know what job's going to be in, like, 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
That's, like, really actually comforting to me. But, like, just the idea of, like, you don't have to have everything lined up perfectly, and it's important. Like, you should be evolving and changing, so what you want should change. I like that.
Yeah, it's just, like, I mean, I remember when we were, like, all graduating high school, and everyone was like, okay, like, where do you want to go to college? What do you want to do? Da-da-da. And once I got to college, because I went for a year, and I was so depressed and miserable. And, like, one day, finally, my mom was like, why don't you just, like, switch schools or whatever? And, like, we didn't even have the thought growing up that you could transfer college because they made it, like, such a thing. Like, I was like, I can do that. And, like, now everyone, like, when they're applying to colleges and, like, asking me for advice, I'm like, just, like, go. But, like, just know that, like, give it a shot. But if you need to, like, transfer schools or do something different or, like, change, like, it's okay. It's like when you're in high school, everyone's like, you need to know exactly what you're doing and you need to figure it out now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I change what I'm doing every 2 years. Yeah. Literally.
And so many people don't even figure out what they want to do until they're 40.
Yeah.
And I think because there are people, like, who do what we do, and, like, I'm not saying, like, it's all our fault. Yeah. But, like, there are so many people who, like, kind of accidentally figured it out younger, but like I wouldn't say any of us like have it figured out. It just like happened on accident younger. So then, and it's like there's always people younger than us. Yeah. So then it's like, wait, how did you like what? You're 3 years younger than me, and then it's like this weird age game that like it literally is so stupid, and it's just from social media stuff because like that's not normal.
Did you see the study that like I guess it was I don't know if it was 10, 20 years ago, whatever. They interview all the high school or elementary school kids and it was like 90% of kids wanted to be astronauts, and then this year, like the 2019 study said like 90% of kids wanted to be YouTubers when they grow up.
No way.
Yeah, like that's how like drastically it's changed, and like that's literally the most common answer of like what I want to be when I grow up is kids saying YouTubers, and I'm like, what? Like, that's insane.
If you think about it, though, like, when we were younger, it was kind of like that was, like, the Disney Channel star.
Oh, my
like,
which is also what I wanted to be back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm, like, doing the little sign.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Exactly. But it's, like, it's just changed. It's just different.
It's
like, the other day, last night I was with a bunch of friends, and so my friend Alicia, who's, like, obviously, like, big influencer, and then my best friend works for her, and they're also, like, BFFs. So, one of my friends is like a barista, and he was talking, he's like, it's crazy, like, they literally posted a story of me, like, as a joke, because we're all, like, mutual friends or whatever, and he has all these, like, Alicia Marie fan pages following him or whatever, and I was like, yeah, but, and he, like, doesn't get it, because he's 24, he's a guy, he's never, like, been in that world, whatever, he's, like, so, like, out of it. And I was like, but she is, like, the Disney Channel star to all these kids. Like, that's, like, the equivalent of what that would be now.
Yeah,
it's
but,
just
like,
so different.
even more heightened, because they, like, know way more about you. Like, you just know, like, the character on Wizards of Waverly Place. You don't know them in real life, and they, like, know everything about us. Like, I always use the example of, like, someone would go up to, like, Justin Bieber and be like, oh, my God, like, I love you, can I take a picture? And, like someone comes up to me, and they're like, oh, my God, like, how's Stella, your dog? Like, they know, like, so many details about my life. And I'm like, what's your name? Hi, so nice to meet you. Like, Stella's great. Yeah.
Do you ever, like, regret sharing things online?
Only recently. If you literally would have asked me a few months ago, I swear to God, I have never said this in, like, since 2011, just because I am such an open book. I share so much. The only things I don't really share about are, like, if it's, you know, stuff about, like, my family that's, like, really, really personal, but, like, anything about myself, I, like, share everything, even, like, my relationships out there, whatever. But recently, I just think being so settled in LA and being so much more in the know, and you feel like you're friends with your audience, and sometimes you forget how much your platform can reach, that people will, like, send something to someone else. And so it's stuff even with, like, I'm, you know, friends with these, like, Bachelor people, and, like, you know, I, like, took a side a few weeks ago for something on Bachelor in Paradise, and it was like I made a political statement. Like, it was like I said who I voted for in the election just by giving my opinion on Bachelor in Paradise, because I'm friends with someone on The Bachelor, and, like, just, like, knowing things, and, like, I'm like, okay, you know what, I need to, like, completely take myself out of this now, and, like, pretend like I don't know any of these people in real life, not talk about them, like, because I don't want to get involved in, like, drama. Whereas, like, a lot of people want to be drama YouTubers, but, like, I say one thing that relates to other people, and I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want to be involved in your narrative at all. Like, I don't want to be a source. I don't want to, like,
be associated.
I don't want you to, like, be like, oh, well, I don't like you anymore because you support her. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I just thought it was, like, a cute kiss on the beach. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, cheese it. So that's the only thing that, like, I now just, like, don't really want to get involved in, like, other people's business, because everyone loves drama now, and I don't want to be involved in anyone's drama. Whereas, like, I usually always stick to myself, so it's like I'm not really used to it. I was like, whoa, everyone calm down. But, I mean, it's different when you're, like, on a podcast and stuff, then it's, like, spill the tea, you know? Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, that's how I am. If it's anything to do with just me, then I don't care. But I think I used to be way more open than I am now, and I, like, want to actually be more open again. I don't really
feel like you're so open.
I know, but I don't know. I feel like I feel like it's because I'm just so go that I don't sit down, just because I'm, like, a full-time college student now. Yeah. So I, like, I'm gonna, like, die. Awesome. Like, just, like, literally gonna die every day.
I can't believe you are, by the way.
I'm so ready to graduate next spring. Well, actually, I think this summer, but we don't have to talk about it. I don't really want to think about it. But I think I'm in a program of, like, 50 people. Actually, it's, like, 30 right now. So I'm around the same people all the time. I was talking to my friend Brooke Michio about this, and she's, like, working a normal, like, 9-to-5 job right now, and she's also, like, an influencer. And she's like, it's crazy, I've never cared what people thought about me until I went into a work environment. And I'm like, same with my school. But it doesn't, like, they're the nicest people ever. It has nothing to do with them. It's this weird thing. Like, even in high school, like, I was really lucky. People were really, like, cool about my channel and stuff. Like, I was one of the few.
I was opposite.
No, I'm, like, literally, I was, like, one of the few. I don't know how I lucked out, but I'm like, now I think I'm just way more aware of, like, I spend so much of my time with these people, and they don't know YouTube. So if I, like, open up, it's weird to them, right?
So you don't open up to them about it?
No, like, I don't open up online as much, like, because of them, which is stupid.
Go, because you think they're gonna see it.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, like, I definitely, when I'm, like, filming more... And I'm kind of like, oh, you know, my boyfriend's grandma's gonna see this, or like, or you just, it's just like weird. You realize it's like kind of like out there forever more. Yeah. Whereas before it was like I was in high school.
I was more naive.
Wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
It's almost that. It's not that like we were like so much cooler and confident. We just were naive, and now we're like so much more aware.
And now I'm like, and it's the same thing. Like when you. Also, like, when you live in LA, obviously, like, you're gonna meet people who are, like, in traditional and, like, be friends with them in traditional. And so then it's, like, a different layer because it's, like, you don't post certain things or you don't do certain... Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to be careful and, like, respectful of that.
Exactly.
So there's just a lot of layers. And it's just very different. Okay, let's do hot seat because we still haven't gotten to that.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, I should have given you a little bit of time before for this question because I feel like it's going to be really good. But maybe you'll be able to think of it on the spot. If not, I'll give you a little time, okay?
Usually I'm pretty good at it on the spot.
Okay,
so
good.
I got it.
What is the best purchase you've made in the past 6 months under $100?
Ooh, 6 months. Best purchase... Well, now you're going on under $100.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard.
Okay, so I'm not going to be able to remember 6 months because I can barely remember what I did last week. So, I would say I always gravitate towards, like, skincare and, like, products. Just because, I don't know, like, everything else, it's just kind of whatever. And it's what we were talking about before is the Isle of Paradise or whatever. Remember?
It's so good.
And I didn't realize how good of a self-tanner it was. And is it under $100? Shit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like $50, I think.
And I think it's just like, I'm a tanaholic. I love tanning.
So into it.
So it definitely was the best purchase because it's actually changed my life. I don't smell. I don't streak. And I'm literally was like, I need to film a September favorites video just to talk about this product. Like, it's so good. And it's the best because we're going into fall.
It's so good.
And we're about to get really pale and ugly.
Do you use a mitt when you apply it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What mitt do you use? Just whatever you have?
Well, I have like a ton because I'm a tanaholic, but I recently bought the one with it. Like the
Oh, they have one?
Yeah, it's a photo. It's like holographic and purple.
Oh, wait, I'm going to actually buy that.
I'm using the Mousse, too. So it's a clear mousse.
Wait a second, I've used the spray.
Okay, so I used the spray one time, but like I'm not. It's hard. You know how hard it is to like move your finger that much.
I completely agree. I was
going like this. Like you can't see it on the podcast, but I was like pumping it like with my full hand. Like, and then it's bizarre. So they have a clear mousse, and I was like, this is not going to work at all because it's clear. I can't see what I'm doing. It literally like you can't.
It looks so natural.
You can't tell at all, and it's clear and it smells like flowers and. Then I'm like tan all the time.
Wow.
It's really great.
No, okay, I'm gonna get that one.
You gotta go to Sephora.
Okay, next one. What is your favorite karaoke song?
Oh, it was Shallow for a little bit. Mm-hmm. For a solid like month and a half, even though I haven't seen that movie.
Seriously?
Yeah, I just like sometimes when so many people tell you to watch a movie, it makes me just like not want to watch it at all. Yeah. And also when I know that like might make me feel something, I'm like, why would I want to do that? Yeah. You know? So it's probably Shallow or a rap. I'm very good at rapping.
Okay, good.
So
is this like your hidden talent?
Yes. Okay. Like very much wanted to be Lil Wayne for a very long time. I can rap very, very fast. Like all those like fast rap songs. Yes. Watch out.
The other night I was at John and Vinny's, and I just want to say John and Vinny's always has the best playlist. So first off, they have the best playlist. So I made my own. I took the liberty of making my own John and Vinny's playlist. So I'm
like, what does that even mean?
Well, I just am like every time I'm in there, I just add songs that they play. It's brilliant.
Oh, so you're paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're playing Lollipop by Lil Wayne when I walked in. So I was like, this is my night. So I added it, and I was actually listening to it in the car the other day. It was incredible.
Lil Wayne's the best.
Yeah, I mean, like so great.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. What is your favorite podcast?
The Morning Toast. I don't know if you listen to it. I was literally, I'm texting Jackie and Claudia right now. It's me, her, and their sister. And it's actually how I got into listening to podcasts back when they were The Morning Breath. And we just like became really good friends. And I always say I don't watch like anything my friends do because I just think it's weird. Like when my friends is on a show, I've never seen it. Like I don't really watch people's YouTube videos that I know. And I literally talk to them every day and then I listen to them in the car. Like they've like group FaceTimed me, like, while the episode was on.
Yeah.
And, like, luckily it cuts it off, but I'm like, this is just, like, so weird. Like, I don't know, it's such a good podcast that I'm like, I'm sorry that it's weird that I listen to you guys every single day, but I'm not going to stop because there's so much traffic here and I need to laugh. Like, it's such a good podcast.
That's the best thing about LA. Well, it's like the best and the worst is the traffic has really introduced me to a whole new career path. Actually, I'm like, if you really think about it, it's amazing.
No, literally, when I was like starting to listen to podcasts, obviously because of them. And then since I liked it so much, and it's only like an hour and a half, we're in our cars all the time, I was like, okay, like I need more. And it took me a while to start finding them, and I saw that the kind of like audience was changing too, the more I learned about them, and I was like, I should have a podcast. And it was the same thing, I was like, I texted my manager, so I was like, I think I want to do a podcast, just because I enjoyed listening to them so much in the car. Well, I am, spoiler alert.
Love that.
It's just taking forever.
Yeah. Should
be actually in the next couple weeks. Maybe by the time this comes out.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. It actually probably will be. Yeah, in the next few weeks. We're just going to hope for the best.
I mean, if you said this in the next 2 months, right?
At some point. I never know.
Okay, so, like, if I don't have a podcast by then, like, that means there was a serious problem. Yeah. Because, like, I think I'm signing the contract today.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to talk about XLE. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
We're going to talk about XLE.
Okay.
So do you want to give a little bit of background on XLE?
Yeah, so XLE is my clothing line. It's called XLE, the label.
Love the name.
Thank you. It was really last minute. I mean, I'm sure you know by like starting businesses and stuff, like trademarking is like the biggest pain in the ass in the world, because like you have this amazing creative idea and then you have to like get it legally approved and it just ruins everything. So I was going around with different names, and then I would always sign my emails like X, like, you know, like British people like XX love.
Yeah.
And I was like XLE, and I was like, oh my god, what if it's just like XLE, so it's just like letters. And because I didn't want to name it like Lauren Elizabeth or anything. Yeah. And so I was just like, what about XLE? Obviously that trademark was available because it's like boring as hell. And yeah, I just like met this really great business partner, and they were like, we love your style, we'd love to help you, you know, create a clothing line. And it's something like, you know, when we were little, it's something you've always wanted to do. Yeah. And we have been officially around for a year now, which is crazy because I can't imagine my life without it at all. But it's such a learning experience. Like every time, I mean, we drop clothes every couple months. So we do, you know, like fall, winter, spring, summer, and then we have like an extra drop in between. And, you know, I'm the creative director and founder, obviously. So I do everything from designing the clothes, figuring out the collection, doing the fittings for the clothes, sampling, like just absolutely everything. Like nothing is XLE without my stamp of approval and like doing it in the process, which I think is like a, you know, a common misconception of like some quote unquote influencer businesses. It's like usually a collaboration or it's like slapping your name on something, and I'm like, no, like that's not what this is. So it's a lot of work and a lot of a bigger learning experience than I expected, but we have really great prices and really great clothes. I'm always like shocked. I'm like, this feels like it's so expensive, and it's usually always under $100. Yeah. So we have fall coming out probably around the time that this is out, and then we have winter, and then we go back into spring and summer. I mean, I don't know if I'll do this for the rest of my life, but I hope so.
How long did it take you from like having the idea and wanting to do it to actually launching?
I think it was a little bit under a year. It might have been a year. It was either a year, like just a little bit under a year. And I remember like it was most of it was obviously like the few months, like the legal and like contractual and like just like figuring everything out. But then clothing just like takes forever. I mean, obviously there is fast fashion, but I think it's different when like I'm involved, because, you know, it's made overseas and stuff. So there is that kind of, and it's also people I work with are in Sweden. So we're never on the same day. So like things take like just like a little bit longer too, which is like why almost every launch recently has been delayed, but it's usually my fault. Because I'm like, no, like I need to see it. And they're like, okay, well great, we have to ship it to America and now we're delayed and blah, blah, blah. So it takes like a long time just because of obviously the actual production of the clothing too.
How did you find your business partner?
They found me, luckily. That's cool. Slid into the Gmails. And it's so funny because I almost deleted it. Like, you know how you get, like, so many random emails that are just,
this was
so
me today, and
stupid?
it's a New York trip, and I was like, wait, and then I saw the bottom, and I was like, oh, there's actually, like, a rate, like, this is a legitimate deal.
Yeah.
And then I saw it was, like, from a manager, and I was like, I'm so stupid. This is me today.
Yeah,
like, all the time.
It's because you get so, like, you go on autopilot.
Yes, I'm like, delete.
Yeah,
delete.
you're like, this is stupid, delete.
Yeah.
And I remember it was, like, you know, like a Swedish name, and I was like, what is this? And then, luckily, they attached a deck. And because it was a short, they were like, oh, we'd just love to, like, meet with you, like, whatever. And they attached a deck, and I was looking through it, and I was like, wait, holy shit, this is legit. And I just sent it to my agents, and I was like, can I take this meeting? And I was, like, so nervous. I was like, maybe this is going to be stupid. Like, what is going on? And after that meeting, I just, like, called my team, and I was like, yo, I think I actually just did something really awesome. But they found me. I mean, it's obviously, I'm so grateful for that, because, like, even when I want to start something, I'm like, how do I find someone? Like, it's tricky.
Was it, like, harder, or, I know this sounds kind of stupid, because obviously, like, everything's harder, but, like, I feel like I also go into things thinking it's gonna be the hardest thing ever, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, it wasn't, like, as bad, but, like, was it harder or easier than you thought?
Harder? I think, I'm trying to think, because, like, what you said, like, you go into things like that. I feel like I'm someone who, I'm very, like, good in a room. I'm like, I can do this, I know, and, like, I'm, like, very, like, confident and, like, persuasive and passionate, and so I go in because I want to, you know, convince people to, like, believe in me, so I go in, like, really, like, I got this, and then it gets progressively harder because of the stress of it all, and so I think for me it was harder than I expected in a way of just all of the details of it, not, like, the bigger vision of, like, oh, like, I need to think of clothing to create. Like, no brainer. Like, I love clothes, I love style. It's, like, the actual little details that go into it are, like, insane. It drives, I was crying over, what was it? I was crying over the color of a sweater last week. I swear to God. I got the color sample in the mail, and I just, like, fully lost it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is not the right gray. No one listens to me. Like, and I just, like, fully fucking lost it. And my assistant was like, I think it's going to be okay. I was like, it's not okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right gray, but, you know, we're working on it.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you, like, actually design? Like, what is your process of designing the clothes?
So basically I get, like, a trend report, and I don't pay, like, too much attention to it, which I don't know if is a good thing or a bad thing, because, you know, obviously you don't want to be, like, too on trend in a way of, like, will you actually wear it, right? But it's, like, nice to know, like, what's going on. So, like, I go through the whole trend report, and I'll see if there's stuff that, like, is that I believe in the trends or whatever. And then I'll kind of go based, like, off of myself. Like, the first year, I think the biggest difference is I did go off of the trends and stuff more than I am this year. So then, you know, you're designing clothing, like, 6 to 8 months in advance. And by the time you get there, like, something else might be, like, popping up. And a lot of trends start from Instagram, so they're not really going to be, like, in a trend report that's from the fashion industry or whatever. So I try to now stay just, like, really, like, true to myself and, like, what I know I'll be wearing. And, like, the next, like, 2 drops, you'll see it's, like, all, like, super, super neutral and, like, just stuff, like, you would totally see me wearing on Instagram instead of, like, okay, like, what's going to be trending, what's going on. So I make, like, a whole mood board, and then, like, it's easier to make a mood board to, like, show a designer, because I work with a designer, and then, like, if there's a picture of a shirt, like, I'll draw on top of it and be like, no, I want it like this, like, I like this part of it, and I, like, piece things together to, like, make something, and then they draw it up for me, and then I go back and I draw on top of that, and I'm like, yes to this, no to this needs to be like this, and then we, like, finalize the entire collection in drawing, and then we start the sampling process, which is the absolute worst part of my job. It's horrible. It's like, I'm not there in person because it's happening in a different country, and it's just on random people that are in the office, and I see a lot of butt cheeks, and There was one time where a girl had like full, I think like head to toe, like body tattoos.
Oh,
and I'm like, listen, like live your best life. But, like, I can't fucking see the tank top. Like, I'm so distracted. I sent a text and I was like, I'm so sorry. I just really have to say something. I'm sure she's doing a great job. You need to stop taking pictures of her in my clothes. I can't focus, like, with the dragon across her chest. Like, I can't, like, visualize it, you know?
Yeah.
And so then I'm doing all these fitting comments. I'm like, that should be 1 centimeter higher. That should be closer at the waist. Like, that doesn't look good. And it's just, like, a back and forth and back and forth. And if I can't get it to the place I like, we've gotten rid of like 2 things that just don't make it to production, or I've definitely done a bad thing before where I'm like, you know what, fuck it, just put it into production, like whatever. Yeah. Or, which it's mostly just like me being OCD, and then the other times it's like, it gets delayed because most of the time it just gets delayed because I'm like, it's not perfect yet. Everyone's like, I thought it was launching in September. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's not ready.
Yeah, not happening. I think too, like the perfect fit of something is so worth it and so worth their money.
Yeah.
Like I think about it, for example, crew necks, okay?
Yeah.
There is a perfect fit to a crew neck. And I know what it is. It's the Aritzia, literally called the perfect crew.
Oh, really?
Literally what it's called, the oversized. The perfect oversized crew. Okay. Right? And this is a very specific look for a crew neck.
Is this a crew neck sweatshirt or shirt?
No, sweatshirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, and it's like oversized and thicker.
I think I almost bought it this morning.
Okay, well, you need to buy it.
I was there this morning, I swear.
Actually, I think that I have another one being delivered to my house like this week. Anyways, I have them in like 15 colors.
Yeah.
And I think they're under $100. They're like $80 each. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, I understand that I could get a crew neck somewhere else, but it's something about it is going to be wrong. And then I'm going to spend $40 on this crew neck that's not perfect, and because it's not perfect, I'm going to go buy 5 other ones in search of the perfect crew neck when I could have saved money and just bought the first one and the original, the best one, and that's
the problem is I was doing that, but you're saying I could have just bought the first one. The things that I wanted didn't exist.
Yeah.
And so I remember, like, there's, like, so many these, like, little trends. Like, even, like, this bag, you were like, it's so cute. Like,
no, it's so perfect,
I called this, like, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we were, I was looking for back before tiny backpacks were a thing. Do you know how many stupid tiny backpacks I bought before, like, Louis Vuitton had one?
Yep.
And I could have just used all that money I was like, I really want, like, a nice designer, like, mini backpack or just something that looks nice. And like, you're sweating in the goddamn mall trying to find this thing. And so, or then you're doing what you did, or, like, buying all these different versions of the different top or whatever. Yeah. And so finally I was like, I'm not inventing anything special with clothing. I'm like, the stuff that I'm always searching for, or the stuff that is not yet perfect, I'm making perfect. I'm making the stuff that I'm searching for, and I'm giving it to the people that, like, clearly have the same style as me. And, like, we have really happy customers. Like, I always am, like, screenshotting DMs and stuff, and then I forget to do anything with them. But it's like, Lauren, like, this is the best thing I've ever put on my body. Like, my friends buy it. Like, that's when you know it's, like, good, you know? Where, like, people are like, what size should I get? Like, I want this top. And I'm like, oh, like, you're not even asking for it for free. Like, you're genuinely just paying for it. I was like, thank you so much.
You actually want it. Cool.
I mean, we live in LA. Everyone's like, can you get me this for free?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm always like, actually, no. I need to pay my rent. Yeah. I'm like, nice.
Yeah. How many hours a week are you working at XLE? Like, what is, okay, actually, no. Give a typical day in the life. I know that it probably ranges. Yeah. So if it needs to be, just like, whatever, you know?
I mean, like, it definitely, like, changes. It's hard to say right now because I was, like, sick for, like, a month and a half. Yeah. So, I'd be like, well, I wake up and I, like, go work out. Haven't been to hot Pilates in almost 2 months.
Have you been to Daylat's class?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
She's the only one I haven't been to yet. Well, not the only one, but...
I'm going at 7:15 tonight and 7 a.m. tomorrow. She's
How do you go in the same 12 hours?
I go...
Also, like, how do you go at 7:15? You're nuts. I always see your Instagram story and you're like, 8:23, and I'm like... Are you fucking kidding me?
It's because I have class. Like, I don't have an option. I have to go before. Like, that's it. I wouldn't normally go that early. But it's kind of maybe more of a morning person. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm, like, kind of into it. But thinking about it makes me want to die. But when I'm actually up, it's not that hard.
Right.
So, like, now I'm, like, kind of... It's more normal. And I really like it in the morning because also... Hot Pilates, you're disgusting after.
I was gonna say, like, do you, like, shower there?
I'll shower there, which the showers suck. They're so small. And it's, like, annoying. Okay. They're just really small, but I go to school, like, I live, like, 20, 25 minutes from here, and, like, everything I do is within, like, it's, like, the studio, Hot Pilates is not even, it's 4 minutes away. And the fact that I know that too. And then like my school's over here, everything I do is over here. So like I'll just go in the morning. Like that's why I go in the morning. Anyways, Daylit, you have to come with me. Like I'll send you my schedule whenever you want to come.
Screenshot?
Yeah.
Because what's it called? What was I gonna say? I haven't been, and I told myself that this week was the week that like, okay, I'm finally like not sick enough. Like I'm not sick enough to like start again, but I have therapy on Monday night. So like I'm like I don't wake up on Monday mornings. It's like I've become the person that like actually hates Mondays, like kind of whatever. But anyway, day in the life. Basically every day is different. I was acting for a really long time on a show called Betch. It was a sketch show. It's on Teen Nick right now. So it wasn't a total waste of time, I guess. Just kidding. Maddie and Monica over here this. My character was like the Aubrey Plaza, just like always miserable. But so I was working for so long and I was doing so many different acting gigs. I shot a couple movies, all this stuff. So I was always waking up at like 6 a.m. and like all this stuff. And I shot a series last summer. And so literally for the past fucking year, I have like let myself sleep in. Like I swear to God, like I was just so burnt out from being on set and like not having my own life for so long that I've literally just over the past couple months like started like kind of being a better person. Like I would sleep in till like 10, 11, 12 because I'm just like so goddamn exhausted. Yeah. But now a day in the life, I try to wake up obviously before 9:45, which like I'm always like, you never know if you're gonna have to like wake up early one day. So if you don't need to, what's the rush, you know? And then it depends like if I have stuff to do, but usually obviously I have a home office, so I have like 3 bedrooms, 1 being an office.
No,
so
I'm obsessed with your house. It's
really
so beautiful. Oh my God, it's perfect.
It's literally 2 minutes away from here.
It's literally the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I could stare at the photos.
It's
I'm obsessed.
It's the best, and like I'm just like such a homebody that like
so am I. I never leave. I don't leave. Like
I don't.
No, once my lease is up in the house I'm in now, I'm moving over here and I'm gonna perfect it. And
you need to move over here because I used to live in Brentwood and I loved it, but I didn't realize how much of a difference it would make when I moved over here. Like I feel like it's just crazy. Like I see my friends more just because everyone's over here, and I like do more stuff, and I'm closer to like I literally left. I had to be here at 2. I left at like 1:55. Yeah, that's like amazing. It was insane.
That's amazing.
But I love being at home, and I have 2 dogs, which is like nice that like I don't have to like leave them all the time. And like I said, I have an assistant who helps me with everything from like business stuff to personal stuff, so we could just like kind of like divide and conquer. And every day is different in a sense of like, if there is an XLE drop coming up, there's like way more like prep and XLE physical stuff we need to be doing, or else it's like I got all my emails from XLE at like 2 a.m. when it was like Swedish time, and I just have to answer all these fitting comments and go through all these samples and like make final decisions, and then I can go back to my like YouTube, Instagram, other stuff like that. So, and I'm not really going on like auditions anymore or anything, just because I'm really focusing on like my business as a whole. So I honestly really spend every day like just kind of figuring out every single thing I need to do between responding to people, creating content, whatever. I always say the things that I have to get done, I do first, and then it's kind of like okay, now what do I want to do? Like, what's the content I want to make? Who are the people I want to reach out to? And stuff like that, because I feel like there's always things that people need from me, and I try to like get those done first because it stresses me the fuck out. But I really don't leave my house. Like, I always see people being like, oh yeah, like, do you want to go on like a hike at like 2:30? I'm like, who the fuck has time to go on a hike at 2:30?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing with your life?
There's so much, I think about this too. I'm like, there's so much parking. It's not just going to be this hour-long hike. It's going to be a 2-3 hour-long thing.
Yeah. Okay. And also, like, it's a Tuesday. I'm always like, it's a school night. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, I can't hang out with you. I have to like go out of my way to like make plans. Like, that's why I'm very upset The Bachelor's not on anymore, because I'm like, oh no, it's like the one night a week where I'm like, we should have a girls' night. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to see anyone for a few months. Like, it was really good hanging out with you guys. I'll be here. It was fun while it lasted. See you later. Yeah, I'm like, well, I'm just going to watch YouTube videos and Hulu by myself. You don't need to come over.
Yeah.
I do have cheese in the fridge, so.
I cannot wait. This is what I'm so excited for, because, like, obviously in the summer, this is my life, because I have an office on my house, too, and it's amazing. Yeah. So, I can't wait when I graduate to just go back and, like, actually do my job and, like, make it better and do other things. I can't wait. I know what you're saying.
Because that's, like, how it felt when I was acting a lot more. Yeah. Is, like, you're on set and there's so much downtime on set. and you have your phone and stuff and you can do stuff, but like you don't want to like get too much out of character where you're not really like focused on what you're doing on set. And then at the same time, you're like on Instagram, you're seeing people like create content, and it's like shit. Like if I had more time, like I could be doing more. And so that's why it's like nice to like have like just be focusing on like what I'm doing so that I can actually like grow it and like take to the like I would love to like not have a home office one day and actually have an actual office to go into to be like even more productive and like have it like a little bit out of my house. I mean, like maybe I wouldn't like it as much as I think because I do love being home so much, but like I know exactly what you're saying of like you just wish you could like
have more time,
have your like normal life controlled by you.
Yes,
but we're also like very lucky in that sense.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that like I've had that before because I wasn't always in a physical school, so like I was online before, so I've had that before and I know it, and I'm like it's so nice. But then again, when I had that before, and like I wasn't doing the podcast at that time, so I feel like that's made a big difference. But it like I kind of drove myself crazy, but I also wasn't doing as much as I like wanted to, but that's because I couldn't do it then, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's different.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was crazy.
I know. But I know exactly what you mean. And it goes in flows. Like sometimes you're like, I need to get out, I need to do more. And then sometimes you're like, I just want to fucking be home.
Yes. I'm not kidding, I was not home for 1 hour last week just to chill.
So like that all would drive me nuts.
Oh, I'm going crazy. I'm like, I'm actually dying. And then I even, like, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to film this week, and I literally had to wake up so early this morning to have just an hour to film because that was my only time this week.
But
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. Because you are productive and, like, do, like, good things with your life. You know?
Yeah, I, like, feel like I don't. This is what I've been saying. I was talking about this before we started recording.
You have a journal or something.
I do, actually.
Yeah.
But actually, funny enough. No, but I feel like I'm just on the go so much that I'm not, like, necessarily always present. Like, I'm very, even, like, with my boyfriend, I'm, like, making a to-do list or I'm, like, doing something or whatever, and I'm like, okay, like, I make us, like, put our phones down, I'm like, but it's, like, for me, it's not him. I, like, tell him, I'm like, you need to put your phone down, but, like, really, it's my phone, you know?
I'm always telling my boyfriend to put his fucking phone down. I swear. And, like, now it's, like, football season, so he's, like, on his fantasy football app all the time.
Yeah.
And it's driving me nuts, and, like, I'll say it so many times, I'll be like, okay, when you're done, I'm gonna finish the story. He's like, no, I'm listening. I'm like, no, you're scrolling on your phone.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but I'm listening. I'm like, no, and we will go back and forth, and I'm like, can't you just realize that I want you to put your phone down?
You should just put your phone down.
Oh my
I would have told you the story. You could have gone back. It would have been fine.
I'm always like, this could be so much faster if you just listen to me the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
He never listens to me the first time. It's insane. It drives me nuts.
Okay, tell me about the, like, naughty French wines thing. Like, how are you working with, like,
Speaking of my boyfriend.
Speaking of.
It's funny. So my boyfriend Cameron and we thought of kind of an alcohol concept a few years ago, I guess, and we were kind of shopping it around with different people that we knew through different family friends, and we met this guy named David Canbar who is amazing. He launched Skinny Girl with Bethany Frankel, and he was part of like Sky Vodka and all these other really, really successful alcohol brands, and so we met with him to pitch him our idea. And we met a couple times, and finally he was like, so, I have a different idea. I'll help you with, like, your alcohol thing, but I actually think you guys are really smart, and I want you to help me with my thing. And it's called, like, Naughty French Rosé. And we're like, okay, tell us about it. And he was like, I already have it done, like, it's ready to go to market. Like, I would just want you, like, guys to come on as kind of, like, advisors. Like, really kind of head of, like, creative, marketing, social, all that stuff. And we were like, oh, well, that's amazing. Like, sure. So we kind of became, you know, like advisor, investors or whatever. Like, we're not on an employee's salary. We're like sweat equity, basically, which is kind of like a new thing a lot of influencers are also doing is sweat equity.
What is that?
So it's basically like you, instead of getting equity in a company by like putting in money, you get it by putting in sweat in a sense of like you're working for them. So like we're not getting paid, but we have equity. So whatever happens with the brand, if it sells one day or whatever, like we get paid out for all the work that we put in. And so a lot of influencers are doing that in a sense of, you know, we have a lot of knowledge to offer people that don't know as much as we do about this space, which is also, you know, how people sell stuff. So it's like, well, why, like, it's almost like you probably heard about what Beyonce did a couple years ago, Coachella. It's the same thing. It's like, I'll come perform, I'll sweat it out for you, but instead of paying me, give me equity or whatever. So that's kind of what we're doing right now in a sense of, like, it's not our rosé. It's not like we are, like, influencers who wanted to create rosé. Like, we're genuinely, like, working for this, like, boss CEO. And it's been really fun because you know, it makes you, it's like, it's similar to what I'm doing with XLE, like creative director, but on just a different way of, like, it requires a little bit more work in a sense of it's, you know, getting this brand off the ground that's very different than, like, selling clothing. And it started off slow, and now it's to the point where we are put it on hold for a second because we're changing the labels. We're changing the we've, like, basically infiltrated this company and taken it over. We're like, okay, so we have a different idea. Actually, we are going to change the labels. And he's like, okay. I'm like, sweet. And so, like, literally my best friend in Chicago is, like, our graphic designer, and we were like, why don't we just make new labels and show them to him and then convince him? So we just, like, have been kind of, like, going behind his back to convince him of things that are alright. So we're like, we took over the rosé. It's a completely different rosé now, but it's amazing. It tastes really, really good. It's like better than Whispering Angel and all that stuff. You know how it tastes, like, kind of like chemically when it goes down? Like, this is, like, it's such good wine, and I'm such a wine snob, so I was like, I can't work for, like, some sugary, like, chemical, like, shit. Like, this is, like, good French wine. And a lot of rosés aren't actually French. They just pretend they are. So.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just, like, not a fake hoe. Oh my god, I need to calm down. Like, oh my god.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, it's fun. That. Like, it's nice being able to use, like, what we know as quote-unquote influencers and actually help people build their companies and, like, have that little extra, like, thing to, like, add to your workload in a sense of it doesn't just rely on you, you know? Like, it's, like, being able to just, like, go to work and, like, not, like, you know, when I'm sick, Lauren Elizabeth stops. But it's like, when I'm sick, Naughty French doesn't stop. Yeah. Like, there's other people that work for them and stuff.
Sometimes I'm just tired of myself.
Oh my god, so tired.
I'm actually so tired of myself.
You have no idea.
It's like, I love everything that I do. I just am so tired of myself. I'm like, I need to start. I think about this all the time. I'm like, I need to have some, like big aha moment sometime between now and graduation. Because I can't go, like, when I graduate, I want to, like, start something else. Like, I need something outside of this. Like, I have, like, ideas. Like, I have no idea what's going to end up happening. But I'm like, I just get I can't, literally, if the only thing I'm doing, I will go crazy. And I'm like, I'm not that exciting. Like,
but it also is, like, it's that thing we were saying about, like, changing it up. You know what I mean? And so it's, like, you've kind of been doing the same thing for a while, and you're like, okay, how do I take, like, the next step? Like, how do I make it grow? And, like, I'm the same thing. Like, I turned 25 in July, and so, like, my new favorite thing to say is that I'm going through a quarter-life crisis. Yeah. I'm like, well, I'm 25, and I live to 100. Like, this is, like, this would make sense. Like, this must be my quarter-life crisis. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, I'm making all this content, I'm doing all this stuff, like, I feel old, like, how do I take this to the next level? What do I do that's different? And it's just, and then when it is yourself, it's like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, do I prove this with the boss? Like, which is myself? And it's a nightmare.
Or if you're going through, like, a really hard time, and I rely a lot on vlogs. So, like, this year, like, earlier this year was rough, and I'm like, I can't vlog right now, I literally will cry. I'm like, even if I, like, I'm like, I literally can't do this right now, so, like, even filming a video, I'm like, I felt so fake. I was like, it's so bad. I'm like, this is, like, a full month where I literally have to film. Like, I don't have a choice.
And because, like, we have to pay our rent, but it's, like, the same thing. It's, like, it's not like you can just, I always say, as much as people, like, don't want to relate or, like, have compassion for our jobs, because they're like, it's so easy, like, you live in Hollywood, and, like, your life is amazing, and I'm like, shut up. And it's just, like, dude, if you're having a shitty day, like, you can either call into work, potentially, depending on your job situation, or you just have to show the fuck up, and, like, go to your desk, don't talk to anyone, just get your shit done. Like, we don't get to do that, ever.
Which, that would also, for me, personally, be a good distraction if I was having a bad day. So, like, go in and clock in and out.
Talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, when we talk about our lives for a living, when our lives suck, it's like, I had probably the worst year ever from 24 to 25. Like, when I celebrated my 25th birthday, I was like, oh my god, like, looking, because, like, literally my 24th birthday was, like, the worst week of my life, and it just continued into the rest of the year. And when I got to 25, I was like, oh my god, like, A, how did I get through all of that, just, like, personally in general? Yeah. And B, I'm so glad it's over. And C, like, I think that was the worst year of my life. Like, it was horrible. And, like, looking back, I'm like, well, no shit, I didn't upload as much and, like, didn't make as much money and stuff because I couldn't. Like, I was having the worst time ever.
Exactly.
It sucked.
It's hard. That's why I feel like I just really need to find, like, whatever I'm doing outside of it, Also, I feel like it makes I know it makes my videos better because they're more interesting because I'm doing something else, but also, like, I'm more inspired to film and I'm more excited because that's not all I'm doing.
Yeah, it's like your creative outlet, actually. It's actually, like, something you can, like...
It's, like, back to when I was in high school and you would, like, look forward to weekends to film.
Oh, my
God.
God, yeah.
Like, that was the best time.
It's just, like, so crazy thinking about the fact that, like, one day in high school, I was like, I'm gonna make a... Like, I also have, like, horrible memories. Like, I have, like, no idea, like, who I was. I don't know. It's just so, like, weird thinking that I made the conscious decision to, like, do all this, and now I'm, like, sitting here thanks to my past self.
Yeah.
Like, what was I thinking? Also, like, my videos. Oh, my God. It's my friend's favorite thing to do, is to go look at my old videos. They are so... horrible.
Everyone's old videos are. Like,
oh my God.
Everyone.
No, you don't understand. Like, I did a video with turquoise feather earrings the day after I got gum surgery.
No way.
And I was home, and I was like, hey, guys, like, I just am home from school. I had gum surgery, so I just figured I would film. Like, that's when you know it's your fucking creative outlet, where you're so bored at home from school, and all you want to do is make a video, and you just got your gums cut off. Like... And I had my thick Chicago accent, my little bratty. I was like, I don't really know what a haul is, but, like, I'm, like, not bragging. Like, I'm just gonna, like, show my clothes, but, like, whatever.
I'm not bragging. Do you remember when the disclaimers?
Yeah.
I remember, this is, like, so weird, but I remember when I was in, like, probably 5th or 6th grade. Like, I was young. I started my channel, like, freshman year, sophomore year, really.
Oh, wait.
But I remember...
You're really young then.
Well, no, I didn't start. This is when I was, like, I saw YouTube videos. I didn't like YouTube for a very long time because my older, like, my siblings and my cousins and I are all, like, so close. Like, probably too close. And I remember, like, I was the youngest of the cousins and I'm the oldest of the siblings, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally the baby, whatever. Someone would, like, pay attention to me and take care of me, whatever. Well, all of my older cousins were, like, watching Shane Dawson and Kingsley, and I literally hated YouTube because it took the attention off of me, so I hated it. And, like, forever. And I remember I was on, like, YouTube one day and I saw a haul and I saw a girl, like a video, like, showing what a haul is. I don't know. I literally couldn't tell you.
Juicy Star 007.
I had missed that wave. I started after.
See, that's what I'm saying. You're young.
Yeah, but I only started...
How old are you?
I'm 22. Why do I have to think about that? No, but I feel like I just didn't watch them. Like, I feel like I wasn't that far off. I just turned 22, though.
Oh, okay. So you are, yeah.
No, but I remember, and I was like, what the heck? That's so weird that girl's just posting and whatever. But that was, like, years before I really started watching YouTube.
Yeah.
And then my best friend Maddie Chop, who's coming to town next week, can't wait. She took me, it took me, 3 months to watch a video because I wouldn't. And it was, like, back when Megan was Megan Rosette. And then... My first video, I remember, was Dulce Candy 87. It was a rainbow eye makeup tutorial.
Love her.
Loved. Yeah.
Is she still around?
Yeah, I think she is.
I went through a long phase where I didn't watch anything. I think it was, like, when I was, like, at the height. Like, keep in mind, I'm, like, saying, like, full on, disclaimer, I already peaked. Like, I'm very aware of that. When I was peaking at my YouTube career, I just wouldn't watch anything. And I think it was a combination of I didn't want to, I didn't have the time. If I watch something, I will talk like that person, not, like, by choice. Like, I will, like, I adapt to their sense of humor and stuff. And then also it was, like, I became friends with so many people, like I was telling you before. Like, I didn't want to, so I didn't watch it. I just started watching YouTube again, like, in the past few months, just because, like, I feel like there are some, like, there is, like, more, like, interesting content out there again. Just a little bit. Like, I watched, like, Architectural Digest, like, Open Door series.
Yeah.
Have you watched that?
I watched Kourtney Kardashian's Child Playhouse.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't even give a shit. Like, this is never gonna get back to her. She is so goddamn annoying. Like, she is the absolute worst. Like, if you listen to the Toast, you know, like, they can't stand her. Okay. Like, it was just, like, what was that is the biggest, like, waste of space.
That was crazy.
What is there to do in there? Like, why do they need to hang out in there? It's a mini house.
Well, she said that they, like, don't really... Yeah. Like, this is, like, something... This is honestly... Well, no, I'm thinking about it and I wouldn't, but when I was younger... Our family friends had a house like that in the backyard.
I mean, I always wanted one.
No, and I, like, wanted it so bad. Same. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would go in there all the time, every day, whatever. And then we talked about it when we were older, because I was like, wait, we went in there one time, and then I was like, no wonder my parents are right. They're like, you'll literally never go in there. You will never use it. And I'm like, oh. And there's, like, I guess when you have that kind of money, though, like...
I know. Yeah. But it's like, I was looking at it, I was like, that was it. I don't even know. I'm really bad with numbers, but I was like, that's like, what, $500,000, $1 million? Like, and it's just, I think it's like pillows in there. She's like, yeah, and they're not allowed to use their phones in here. This is a no screen zone. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, they're definitely on their phones.
I don't know, I just get like really riled up.
You're over it, yeah.
And she was just like, even my brother was like, why is her leg popped out like that? And I was like, what the fuck? I watch a lot of YouTube videos with my brother. Because I live with him, so
that's fun.
He ends up stuck on the couch with me. We watched Hot Ones too, which I hadn't seen before. Yeah. The Shia LaBeouf one, highly recommend.
I need to watch that one. My director is like so obsessed with those videos right now.
They're really good. They make me really hungry though.
Okay.
Because I love food, and then I love chicken wings, and it just makes me want to eat chicken wings. The Billie Eilish one was good too.
I like how YouTube's kind of gone back to like when it was so produced and like highly saturated, whatever. It's kind of gone back to like people are just like normal, real people. Like it's very vlog heavy, and it's like I like watching people who are like living normal lives / like cooler lives and just like vlog their lives. Like that's what I like. I don't want to watch anything that I feel like I always say this, I'm like, I will not film anything, film a video or do anything of something that like I'm not already doing. Like it has to be
like I'm
doing
plan something.
Yeah, I'm like I'm not gonna like go to the store and buy something for a video because unless like it's something that I would like need or want or whatever. Yeah. But like if it's something like if I'm buying something solely for a video, I'm like probably not gonna do it. Right. Depending on like obviously if it's like equipment that doesn't count, but I mean like, if I'm like going to like buy something for like I literally will never do. I'm the laziest person ever when it comes to DIY. Like never. I would much rather. I am so for spending your money 100%. On someone else doing it for you. Like also, honestly,
it's not even that like inexpensive comparatively.
No, it's
when you
not
add
at all.
Because even I did DIY. I mean, this doesn't really count, but I painted my backyard, and it was so expensive. Like every bucket of paint, and then you're watching these people that are like, okay, so you're gonna need chopsticks, and then you're gonna need this, and I'm like, at that point, why don't you spend $5 extra and just have someone do it for you?
Yeah, literally. Like, I'm like so lazy. I will never do a DIY. I will never do any of that ever, like ever. Okay, last thing I want to talk about. So I've been seeing your Instagram stories lately with your.
I just want everyone to know you got really serious.
No,
she like sat up and
my hands are crossed.
She crossed her hands.
Yeah. Your Instagram stories with your facials and stuff.
Yes.
Your new skincare. Yeah, I need to hear all about that.
Okay, so basically. It was one of those, like, emails, you know, you get an email and you're like, I'm gonna delete it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, like, let me look into it. And it's this woman named Sonia Dakar. She's been around forever. Like, she is just this big LA Hollywood facialist. Like, she does, like, Leonardo DiCaprio, Gwyneth Paltrow, like, so many people. And you don't realize... You know when you're coming back from Century City and on Santa Monica and the road like forks? Yeah. That's her building right there. It says Sonia Dakar. Like you've driven by it a million times. And so I went in for her facial and like, you know when you get something for free, like gifting, like, you're always like, oh, like they're gonna pamper me and relax. Like I went in there and her daughter, who runs the marketing, who's like a mom as well, she's like, oh, by the way, you're not gonna relax at all. Like she's gonna put you to work. And I was like, okay. So this is interesting. And I just like quickly realized this wasn't just like a free PR facial. Yes. And she was just amazing. She like took pictures of my face and she was like, you have rosacea and you have dermatitis. I was like, what? I was like, I just got a facial 2 weeks ago. She was like, I was like, they said it was a dry spot. She's like, well, they're idiots because I'm a doctor. Like, I have a PhD and I'm telling you that's dermatitis. Like, they should have at least told you to go to a dermatologist. And I was like, okay, like, she's just, like, intense, right? And so she was doing all this stuff to my face. She, like, you could see the difference before and after just in that time period. And I started using all her products just because she's explaining, like, she was, like, the first person to ever have a facial oil on the market. Wow. Like, back when people were like, why would I put oil on my face? And it was like 20, 30 years ago. And all of her products are like naturally derived. Like it's like great for rosacea. Just like I actually use them every day now. And my skin has been like, I had like
your skin looks amazing.
Many breakouts. Like I have like a little bit of breakout right now because I'm on antibiotics for me being dying all the time. Mm-hmm. And then when you pick at them, obviously. Yeah. But it's insane. So her products are like holy grail. She was even saying, she's like, yeah, like Gwyneth Paltrow like is always like, I still use your oil every single day. I haven't even been able to like make something that can compete with it in my line. And we were talking about that, and she was like, we were talking about celebrities, and she was like, oh yeah, you know who I didn't realize was, and she has a thick accent by the way, which I can't even do. She's like, you know who I didn't even realize was that big of a celebrity? I was like, who? She was like, Drake. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well yeah, he was here last night. And I was like, what? And she shows me her iPhone camera roll, and because she takes like before and after pictures, it's like Drake in a robe, like the robe that I wear when I get my facials, like turning like left, front, like right, and like showing his skin like in her camera roll. I was like, oh my
that's amazing.
God. Her camera roll is full of like gold. Like, if TMZ ever got her camera roll, like, holy shit.
Wow.
She said that he came with, like, 2 black SUVs full of, like, security, his assistant, like, after hours, like, because celebrities, like, they don't want, like, get paparazzi, so they go, like, when, like, the sun goes down.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm, like, there at, like, 12 o'clock in the morning. But, yeah, her stuff is absolutely amazing. Like, it's not sponsored at all. I'm just lucky enough that, like, she works on my skin so that I post on Instagram, but, like, I would never go back if I didn't want to. Like, it is insane. Like, you need her stuff. I've been watching your Instagram stories, and so I think I'm sold now. Like, it was really incredible. Like, the thing, too, is, like, I always tell people that, yes, I'm a quote-unquote influencer, but I always say that I'm more proud of being, like, a real-life influencer. Yeah. Like, all my friends are always like, okay, like, where did you get that? Like, how should I get that? That's how I am with my friends. Yeah, and it's, like, I'll get so many texts being like, what's that thing you were talking about? Like, which one of this should I get? And I'm like, yeah, it's cool that I have, like, 1 million followers or whatever that I can influence, but, like, I'm more proud of the fact that, like, I'm the go-to girl that, like, everyone texts for, like, advice, what to buy, how to decorate, all that stuff. I'm like, that's when you know it's legit. Like, my friends are like, oh my god, that oil is amazing. Oh my god, I ordered that oil because of you. And I'm like, I would never talk about something I don't believe in because I also sell it to my friends. I'm like, no, you need this oil, and yeah, whoever follows me, you need the oil too. Like, that makes sense. My friends and I have, like, all of the same stuff now, but that's just because I'm, like, make everyone, / I'll either buy it for them, or they'll buy it because they use mine, or I'm like, no, you have to, like, have you taken an Enneagram test? Okay, I've been thinking, it's, like, a very podcast thing, by the way. Yeah, podcasters you really all know their Enneagram test. What number are you? Okay, I'm a 3 wing 2. I feel like you'd be a 3. Honestly, probably wing 2. Wait. All of my closest girlfriends in my life, like, literally 6 of them, they're all 3 wing 2. 3 is the achiever. Wait, 3 wing 2? So that just means, like, the one that you're under. It sounds more technical than it is. Oh, okay. It sounds like one where you're, like, 3 wing 2? I'm like, what? No. It's the achiever / the supporter. Okay. Well, I'm a Cancer, which, like, astrology-wise, like, I'm very, like, homebody, like, nurture, like, mom. Supporter. And I'm, like, supporter. But then the only thing that, like, and then for the Myers-Briggs one, I'm, like, the performer. Okay, which is, like, EF or something or whatever. EF, something like that. But, I mean, I want to be the achiever, but at the same time, I feel like I'm the most, like, secretly lazy person in the world. Okay, well, maybe not, but you're probably at least, like, a 2 or something. You should take it. Okay, I'm going to take it today. I'll take it today. You should, and then text me your results and we can talk about it. Yeah, no, I'm, like, really into it. But I always joke that, like, I'm an overachiever, and then I'm a supporter, so I want all my friends to be overachievers, too. I do the same thing. Yes, okay, so I'm, like, I want you guys, like, they'll have, like, some small idea, and I'm, like, business. Like, I'm, like, very business. Oh, my God, I do the same thing. This. I literally, like, I will write you a whole proposal right now. I'm, like, if we need to stop, we need to stop. Like, this is what we have to do right now. Dude, I do the same thing. I do with my boyfriend too, where he's like, so I had this idea, I'm like, do you, like, actually want me to tell you what I think and, like, redo the whole thing for you, or like, do you just not want to know? Yeah. Like, oh, you have a show idea? Okay, let me write the entire pitch really quick. Yeah, like, just really quick. I'm like, oh, you want to do that with your business? Well, here's what you actually need to do. And then I do the same thing. I showed up to my boyfriend's parents' house last night with, like, 3 Summer Fridays products, because I was like, no, you need to try these. Like, you need to use them. Like, I just buy them for people. I literally just got new masks for my boyfriend and I. Yeah. Like, from Summer Friday. Yeah. Oh, my boyfriend's addicted to Summer Friday. No, yes, like literally. Yes, that's literally it. Yeah. It, like, actually makes them, like, look better. Yes. I recommend it for all men. It's amazing. It's so great. It's so funny. Okay, maybe I am a 3. No, I really think you are, and I'm really looking forward to you taking the test. I will literally text it to you, and I'm going to be waiting for it. Will you text me the right one? Yeah, I'll send you the actual link. Thank you. Okay, we've been talking for an hour, and we could literally keep talking forever. Wow. So we can just do another one. Yeah. If you guys want me back, they probably don't, but I will. They probably do. You know what's funny? I think we had already booked, but I asked in a vlog, like, who people want to see or whatever, and you were, like, a top guest. Really? Yeah, and I had already, like, booked it. Oh my god. So I'm like, wow, it sounds like I'm really listening, you know? Oh my god. Yeah, it sounds like they, like, actually decided it for you, even though we just DM'd about it. Yeah, like, I already did it, but it's fine. My assistant was really excited. She's a big fan of yours. Oh, really? That's how I figured out who you were. Oh my god, because she was like, have you ever seen Kenzie Elizabeth, like, in Hot Pilates? And I was like, who's that? She's like, she's this girl, like, I love following her. Oh, and I, like, looked you up, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I have seen her in Hot Pilates. And I was like, oh my god, we do all the same things. Yeah. And I was like, follow. We are very similar. Yeah. And I was like, we just, like, have the same, like, you're just, like, more of an overachiever than I am. Like, I'm a lazier version of you. We're, like, very personality similar, and also, like, taste and style similar. Like, my mom... Also, keep going. My mom also was an interior designer, like, forever growing up. Yeah, so, like, I'm so into my house. I have roommates right now, so I can only be, like, as I saw that on, like, your Instagram story or something, and I was like, that looks horrible. It's you're, like, over it? You were like, I love it! And I was like, wait, what? Sure? Love what? Like, living with, like, people. Oh, no.
I love my roommate now. She's awesome.
I thought you lived with like 4 dudes.
No.
Am I insane?
No, I did live with a guy at one point.
Okay.
There's people moving in and out or whatever, but our house is so big, honestly, I don't see anyone.
Right, yeah.
I literally will go 4 days without seeing my roommate.
Oh, okay.
I don't
That's
see
very nice.
anyone. So
I like that a lot.
would not live with anyone in an apartment. / I probably won't live with anyone ever again.
You should. I highly recommend
I've already lived
it.
on my own. I had my own apartment before this, and it was amazing, and I loved
How did you
it.
go back?
Well, then I changed my whole life and like whatever, and it wasn't that bad because it was a huge house.
Okay.
And I was living with my cousin at the time, so he lived in and out.
Yeah.
So it was like family, so it didn't make a difference.
I live with my brother, so I
so
get
it's like it's just like whatever. Okay, so where can they find you?
At Lauren Elizabeth on everything.
Love
Easy
it.
peasy lemon squeezy.
Podcast coming soon, if not already
Podcast
available.
coming
If it's available, it'll be in the show notes. But
Yeah.
thanks for coming on. This is
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Really being honest, and you ask me how I'm doing, I probably have to tell you that. Tell you that.